Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Carly. Good morning. This is courtroom number 1. I am Judge Martin. Today's docket is landlord-tenant cases only. If you do not have a landlord-tenant case, you may be in the wrong room. There is court staff available to help you get relocated. At approximately 9:15, there will be a short video that plays that explains the legal rights you have available to you. After that video plays, every case that is scheduled will be called. When your case is called, please be prepared to unmute yourself, to turn your camera on, to state your name for the record. I will ask if you've made application for rental assistance. I will also ask if you'd like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. After I ask those 2 questions, you will be moved into a breakout room to either meet with Lakeshore Legal Aid or meet with the law firm that represents your landlord. So again, please be patient. We will get going at approximately 9:15. Thank you. Lakeshore, you have waiting and meeting rooms assigned to you. Ms. Kuzi, your law firm has meeting and waiting rooms assigned to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hi.
I see you. If you see invitations to go into breakout rooms, please go there. Court staff is trying to get people relabeled so that your case number and the name of the law firm that represents your landlord is clear. Again, we'll get going at 9:15. Thank you.
then I just leave the court too. Like, I don't know how this stuff goes. So yeah, I've never been to court before. Like, to say I'm no longer required to be here, so I guess I'll leave the courtroom too. Hello.
It's hard. It's edible.
It tastes like correct.
It tastes
I'm not a
great.
big.
Fondant's mostly used.
Good morning. This is Judge Martin. This is courtroom number 1. Today's docket is for landlord-tenant cases only. Court staff are working to get everyone properly labeled so that we can get going here, which we will start within the next couple of minutes.
They don't get served and it gets adjourned because of me.
No, sir. There will be a short video that plays that explains the legal rights you have available to you. At the conclusion of that video, every case that is scheduled will be called. When your case is called, be prepared to turn your video on, to unmute yourself, and to state your name for the record. After you state your name, the first thing I will ask is if you've made application for rental assistance. If you have made application for rental assistance, your case will be adjourned. You will also be offered the opportunity to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid if you're interested in discussing representation with them. If you have not made application for rental assistance and you do not wish to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid, you will be moved into a room to speak with the attorney that represents your landlord. After you speak to that person, you will come back to this main session. Please do not leave unless I have either advised that you are free to go or you have been given a new court date. And it appears that everyone has been labeled. Let's get the clerk out to start the video. Curly, when you're ready to share your screen, would you start the video for me, please?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC 508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2404618LT Harbor Club versus America's Babla.
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton, Appellate Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Yes.
No, not yes. Turn your video on and state your name.
I was getting to that. Thank you. America's Palace.
Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I talked to my landlord about 2 days ago.
I'm sorry. Are you laying down? Ma'am, I'm gonna pass your case. I'll come back to you momentarily. 2404619 Harbor Club versus Ayana Bailey and Varun Gampathy.
Yes, good morning. Veron was at work this morning. He wasn't able to step away, so it's just me.
Thank you, ma'am. Have you made application for rental assistance?
I reached out to a church, but I haven't applied to any of the resources that was given to me in the packet just yet.
Would you like to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes.
Then ma'am, you'll see an invitation to go into the breakout room. After you've had a chance to speak with them, your case is being adjourned over to July the 24th at 10:15 a.m.
Okay.
Whether they represent you or not, you are required to return on that date. After you speak to Lakeshore, you'll be free to go, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Give me one moment. This is 2404621 LT Harbor Club versus Carlisa Carter. She's here, Mr. Morton. Give me just 1 second. Looks like she is
Understood.
on twice. Ms. Carter, unmute yourself and state
Hello.
your name for me, please.
I'm Miss Carter, Carlisa Carter.
Ms. Carter, have you made application for rental assistance?
I have not.
Would you like the opportunity to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, thank you.
Then ma'am, the next thing that'll happen is you'll see an invitation to go into the breakout room. You'll meet with a member of the Pallets Law Firm. After you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is 2404626 Harbor Club versus Jawan Davis. Mr. Davis, unmute yourself and state your name for me, please.
Juwan Davis.
Mr. Davis, have you made application for rental assistance?
I have not.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes, please.
Then we'll get you moved into that breakout room, sir. After you're done speaking with them, you're free to go, but your case is being adjourned over to July the 24th at 10:30 a.m. Regardless of whether or not Lakeshore will be representing you, you are required to return on that date, July the 24th at 10:30 a.m. Court staff will send you notice of that new date and time. You'll see an invitation to go into that breakout room with Lakeshore Legal Aid shortly. This is 2404646 Harbor Club versus Patton and Patton.
Here, sorry, I pushed the button twice.
No
Dennis
worries.
Patton Jr.
State your name for me. Thank you, Mr. Patton. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, thank you.
Then, Mr. Patton, the next thing you will see is an invitation to go into the breakout room to meet with a member of the Pallets Law Firm. Please go there and speak with them. When you're done, you'll come back to this main session, okay? This is 2404650 Harbor Club versus Jay Reddy.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Reddy, you
Yes.
watch me advise people to turn their video on and state their name. Would you do that for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. My camera is broken. I dropped my phone and I'm not home, so I don't have access to another camera right now. My name is Jay Reddy.
No worries. That at least state your name for me, please.
Jay Reddy. I'm sorry.
No worries. Mr. Reddy, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I do want to do that. I do have the information on hand, though, to do that.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, sir, we'll get you moved into the breakout room. You'll meet with a representative from that office. At the conclusion of that conversation, you are free to go. Your case is being adjourned over to July the 24th at 10:30 a.m. Whether or not Lakeshore is representing you, you are required to return on the 24th at 10:30. Give me one moment. We'll get you sent over, assigned to that room to meet with them. Let's go back to 2404618 Harbor Club versus Babla.
Hi, America's Babbler.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No,
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
no, thank you.
Then ma'am, the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into the breakout room to meet with staff from the Palace Law Firm that represents your landlord. After you're done speaking with them, you will return to this main session.
Okay.
Thank you. 2404652 Harbor Club versus Lindsay Ronald.
Yes, I'm Lindsay Ronald.
Ms. Ronald, have you made application for rental assistance?
I have not.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes, please.
We'll get you moved into that breakout room with Lakeshore Legal Aid. After you're done speaking with them, you will be free to go. Your case is being adjourned over to next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:30 a.m. Whether or not they represent you or agree to represent you, you are required to return on that date, that July the 24th at 10:30 a.m. Court staff will send you notice of that new date and time. You'll see an invitation to go into the Palace waiting room here momentarily, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. This is 2404656 Harbor Club versus Tanisha Stevens. What happened to Miss Stevens? Oh. 2404657 Harbor Club versus Dominique Taylor.
Hi, Dominique Taylor.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I have not.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, thank you.
Then ma'am, the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into the breakout room to meet with someone from Palace Law Firm. After you're done speaking with them, please come back to this main session, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Let me get that invitation sent to you. You're so welcome. This is 2404660 LT Harbor Club versus Natasha Valenti.
Hi, Judge. This is Natasha Valenti. I'm sorry,
Thank you, Ms. Valenti.
my camera's messed up too. I'm so sorry.
Nope, ma'am, don't apologize. You got the
Okay.
hard part of stating your name. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I was looking at the resources online, but I didn't get a chance to see any resources that they have for us now.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes.
And ma'am, you'll be moved into a breakout room to speak with that representative. After you've had the chance to speak to them, you'll be free to go. Your case is being adjourned over to next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m. Whether or not Lakeshore agrees to represent you, you are required to return on that date, next Wednesday morning, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m. Let's get
Okay.
the invitation for you to move.
Thank you
into
so
that room.
much.
You're so welcome, ma'am. Give me 1 second. 2404656 Harbor Club versus Tanisha Stevens.
Yes. Hello.
Ma'am, turn your video on and state your name for me, please.
Tanisha Stevens.
Ms. Stevens, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 moment. Ma'am, the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into the breakout room to meet with the representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. After you're done speaking with them, you'll be free to go. Your case is adjourned over till next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m. Whether or not they agree to represent you, you are required to return next Wednesday at 10:45 a.m., okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Two four zero four six five eight Harbor Club versus Toya Taylor.
Good morning. Toya Taylor?
Good morning, Ms. Taylor. Have you made application for rental assistance?
Yes, I have.
Have you filed the form that's called the DC 539?
I have not yet.
Okay, ma'am, you have 5 days from today's date to get that DC 539 filed. You will attach to it proof that you have made application for rental assistance, okay?
Okay.
Do you know where that form is, or do you need assistance in locating it?
I believe I can find it.
It's on the court's website. 5 days from today, you have to have it filed with the court. Your case is being adjourned over till next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m., okay?
10:45?
Yes, ma'am. Court staff will mail you notice of that new date and time.
Okay.
Anything else this morning, Ms. Taylor?
Nope, that's it.
You're free to go, ma'am. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Ms. Carter Woods is back. This is a recall of 2404621 Harbor Club versus Woods Carter. Ma'am, you've had an opportunity to speak to a representative from Palace Law Firm,
I did.
and you reached an agreement with them.
Yes.
Mr. Morton.
Carlise, okay, I'm just looking at the, ma'am, is it Carlise Woods Carter or Carlise Carter Woods? Can you clarify that?
Woods Carter.
Woods Carter, okay, thank you. Sorry, the name threw me off for a moment, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Was it Miss Carter? Was it you did speak to Miss Kuzi, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, was it Ms. Kuzi had an opportunity to be able to speak with Ms. Carter? The parties did enter into a proposed consent judgment. Terms are as follows. Rents retained are $3,002.94. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $3,193.18. Ms. Carter did get permission to sign her name to the proposed consent judgment. Further, was it Ms. Carter? I'm sure this was explained to you, but I'm gonna go over two other things. The first one is, was it because you are not represented by counsel today, was it this agreement is not final for 3 business days? In addition, you have 10 days from today's date to file a request to appeal the court decision to the higher court level if you feel you wish to be able to do that. Was it, Your Honor, that again, proposed consent judgment agreement?
Thank you. Ms. Carter Woods, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you had available to you this morning. Do you have any
Yes.
questions about those rights?
No questions.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No questions.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No questions.
Then Mr. Moore's office will prepare a consent judgment, file it with the court, so long as what he files matches the dollar amounts he just placed on the record. I will sign that consent judgment. A copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay,
Your Honor, if
thank
I
you.
could just check, the court record has, it is Carlisa Woods Carter, correct?
That's
Woods
how we
Carter.
have it, sir, yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Carol Johnson.
Present.
Ms. Johnson, it's Harbor Club versus Elijah Favors and Carol Johnson, correct?
Correct.
Ma'am, your case was dismissed. You're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morton, are you ready with some default judgments?
Yes, Your Honor, we can move forward with the defaults.
2404620 LT. This is Harbor Club versus Johnny Brown and Jonte Brown. The court has confirmed service. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendant's fail to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $839.17. Court costs of $248.83 for a total of $1,088.00. It's a non-payment of rent for possession only.
Thank you. 2404623 LT Harbor Club versus Johnny Chauncey. Again, the court has confirmed service. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, we seek a default judgment for possession. Rents retained after some recent payments is $475.72. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $665.96. Again, this is a non-payment rent for possession only.
Thank you, sir. This is 2404634 LT Harbor Club versus Dennis Hall and Susan Way. The court has confirmed service. Defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $2,120. Court costs of $248.83 for a total of $2,368.83. Again, non-payment of rent for possession only.
Thank you. Please have your office submit those default judgments. Will you recall the case of 2404626 Harbor Club versus Davis?
Mr.
Mr.
Davis
Davis.
appeared and spoke to Lakeshore, Your Honor, I believe.
Mr. Davis, did you finish speaking with Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes.
You're free to go. I'll see you next Wednesday unless there's something else you wanted to do this morning.
No, you have a great day. I appreciate it.
You too, sir. Thank you. Two four zero four six four nine Harbor Club versus Carl Reeves and Amari Spalding. The court's confirmed service. Defendants have failed to appear. Mr. Morton, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendants failed to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $1,075.08. Court costs of $248.83 for a total of $1,323.91. Again, non-payment of rent for possession only, Your Honor.
Thank you. 2404651 LT Harbor Club versus Kiara Robinson. The court has confirmed service. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered based on Ms. Robinson's failed to appear. Rents retained is $1,118. Court costs of $190.24. We're told $1,308.24. Again, non-payment of rent for possession only.
Thank you. Is that it for 9 o'clock?
I thought did Christy Thomas, did that one?
Christy
04659.
Thomas?
I thought there were a few more. Maybe was that one? I had it listed at 9. Maybe that one's listed at 10 in your system.
Judge, I have it at 9.
Thanks, Curly. Oh, 24, I skipped it when I went to 2404659 LT Harbor Club versus Christy Thomas. Court has confirmed service. Defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $2,666. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,856.24. Again, non-payment of rent for possession only, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Morton.
Okay. I will go into a breakout room and help talk to some people, and we will be back out to put those on the record, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Dan or Carly, are you able to move the cases from the hearing docket to the bench?
I believe they should go automatically, but if not, I can have Sandy do it because I think she's the only one that can.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't pull them, and I don't know how Mary Ann typically does it.
Sandy's doing it now.
Thanks, Carly.
Judge Sandy's moving those from the docket to the bench.
Yes, sir. Ms. Stevens, did you finish speaking to Palace Law Firm?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had got the people who I needed to talk to mixed up. But yeah, I talked to the lawyer.
Okay, this is a recall of 24-04656 Harper Club versus Stevens. The parties have had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding?
I think he's got more hair than I do, Your Honor. Your Honor, was the parties did speak, was it, we do have we are gonna enter into proposed consent judgment agreement. Rents retained is $2,252, core cost of $190.24. Most important thing is the balance, which is $2,442.24. The payment date will be July 31st, 2020. I did advise her that I just muted Ms. Stevens, Your Honor, so the court can hear everybody. And Ms. Stevens, I'm just telling you, I muted you, so that way there's no interference and the court can hear everything. And then you'll be unmuted to be able to confirm everything. As long as the court's okay with that.
Not typically allowing parties to mute other parties, but I understand the reason for it this morning, Mr. Morton. Other than, the court missed the total,
$2,442.24.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Stevens, let me unmute you. You were able to hear Mr. Morton just now, and is everything he said true and accurate?
Yes, I'm sorry, I thought I was muted, but yes, that's true.
No,
yes.
You're fine. And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you had available to you this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare the consent judgment with the dollar amounts and the due date that he just placed on the record. As long as what he files matches what he just stated, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have. Unless there's anything else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay, no, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 24-04618 Harbor Club versus Babla. Ms. Babla, have you had the opportunity to meet with Palace Law Firm and you've reached an agreement in this matter?
Yes.
Mr. Morton.
Your other parties did have an opportunity to speak. She spoke with Ms. Kuzi. The parties did agree to a proposed consent judgment agreement. Rents retained is $2,026.00. Core cost of $190.24 with a total of $2,216.24. The payment date will be July 29th, 2024. She did give permission to sign her name to the proposed consent judgment agreement. Additionally, she was advised of the 3-day time period that this judgment is not final for, as well as the 10 days to appeal.
Ma'am, that was an accurate statement of the agreement that you reached with the law firm?
Yes.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the legal rights you have available to you this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, thank you.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings? Ma'am,
No.
do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare a judgment filed with the court as long as what he files matches the dollar amounts and the due date he just placed on the record. I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I was going to go back into the breakout rooms and speak with another tenant.
Thank you.
Judge, do you want Sandy to move everything, or do you want it hour by hour?
Do I want to what?
Do you want all of the cases moved to the bench, or do you just want it done like hour by hour, 9 to 10, 11?
She can move them all so she doesn't have to keep coming back and forth. It's fine. There's only 51 cases or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
Sorry, Judge, would you like me to keep everybody in the waiting room until you're done with the tens? I think there's only one left, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry. Do I want
Do you
you to
want-
what?
There's people coming in for the 10 o'clock. Do you want me to keep them in the breakout room?
If you want to label them and put them somewhere else, I made a waiting and a meeting room for you all, and Dan has a meeting room as well. If you want to hold them there until we're done with the pallets consent judgments.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Give me one moment, Ms. Taylor.
Okay.
It's a recall of 26046657. The parties have, this is Harbor Club versus Taylor. The parties have had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the parties did speak. They have agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. Rents retained are $1,400. Court costs are $190.24 for a total of $1,590.24. Ms. Taylor shall have until the 31st, July 31st, 2024 to be able to make the payment. I did advise her that this agreement is still not final for 3 business days, that she does have the 10 days to appeal if she chooses to do so. And she did give permission to put her name on the proposed consent judgment agreement, Your Honor.
Ms. Taylor, is what Mr. Morton just placed on the record correct?
Yes.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, I do not.
Do you have any questions about these proceedings?
No, I do not.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare a consent judgment and file it with the court. As long as what he files matches what was just placed on the record, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, Ms. Taylor, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, this is a recall of 2404646, Harbor Club versus Patton and Patton. You have the opportunity to speak to the law firm and you've reached an agreement, sir?
Yes, we have.
Your Honor,
Mr.
the parties did speak. He had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Kuzi from my office. Was it the proposed consent judgment will be agreed to and entered into? Rents retained is $979.65. Court costs of $248.83. For a total of $1,228.48. This will be a consent as to Mr. Dennis Patton Jr. And default as to Mr. Dennis Patton. Mr. Patton was advised that the agreement is not final for 3 business days, that there's 10 days to appeal. And then finally, he did give permission to Ms. Kuzi to assign his name to the proposed consent judgment agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, was that an accurate statement of the agreement you reached with the law firm?
Yes, it is.
And sir, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you had available to you this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Morton's office will draft that consent judgment, file it with the court. As long as what he files matches what was just placed on the record, I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, sir, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You have a great day too, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
I believe Ms. Kuzi has one party left from the 9 o'clock docket that she's speaking with. And once she speaks with them, that will close it out unless the court has any other cases listed.
I don't see any other. Thank you, Mr. Morton.
Thank you.
This is 2404652 Harbor Club versus Lindsay Ronald. Ms.
Yes.
Ronald, you had the opportunity to speak to Lakeshore, excuse me, to Palace Law Firm. You reached an agreement with that office.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lindsay, Ms. Ronald, I thought you went in to meet with Lakeshore.
It was legal aid.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked to, I think her name was Samantha.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kuzi, I look concerned because Ms. Ronald was moved in to meet with Lakeshore and was advised that her case was adjourned over till next Wednesday at 10:30.
Your Honor, she was, I believe, placed in our waiting room, so I did speak to her, but if that's the case, then we'll just have the matter adjourned.
Ms. Ronald?
Yes.
Were you trying to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid, or were you trying to speak to the law firm that represents your landlord?
I really was trying to I thought I was being sent to the Lakeshore Legal Aid.
You were supposed to be, ma'am. If you weren't, that was my mistake. So let's try it again. My notes say Lakeshore Legal Aid and adjourn over till next Wednesday at 10:30. So let me get you moved again into Lakeshore, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Second time's the charm. There we are. I'm sorry, Ms. Kuzi.
No problem. Just to confirm, it's adjourned to the 24th, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And looks like we're ready to flow into the 10 o'clock docket. Staff is labeling and we'll do the video at 10:30, 10:15. If you want to go hang out back in your breakout room. Ms. Burns. This is 2404615 Park Estates versus Tina Burns.
Yes, yeah,
Ma'am, your case has been dismissed. You're free to go. You have a
yes.
good day.
Oh, thank you. All right, you too. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Bye-bye.
Sir with the white shirt on with the beard.
Yep.
Your name, please.
Garrett Gillows.
I don't understand this.
Good morning, Mr. Hall.
Good morning.
Mr. Hall, unless the tenant appears early and you're able to go into a breakout room, this court typically does not start until about 15 minutes after the hour, or there'll be a short video that's played that explains the rights they have available to them. So if you want to sit tight, mute yourself, I'd appreciate it greatly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Herman.
Morning, Judge. How are you?
I'm super. How have you been, sir?
I'm well, thank you.
My policy is that we lock this room and start playing the advice of rights video at about 10:15. After that time, we'll get you moved into your assigned breakout rooms. You'll be able to meet with whatever tenant you have present, okay?
Sure. Are you going to send those tenants in one at a time?
What happens, just so everyone's on the same page, I am Judge Martin. This is courtroom number 1. Our docket today are landlord tenant cases only. If you're not here for a landlord tenant case, court staff will assist you in getting where you need to go. At about 15 after the hour, there will be a short video that plays that explains the legal rights you have available to you. After that video plays, every case that is scheduled will be called. When your case is called, you will be expected to unmute yourself to state your name for the record. After you have identified yourself, I will ask if you have made application for rental assistance. If you've made that application, there is a form that you will need to complete and file with the court. If you have not made an application for rental assistance, the next question will be if you'd like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. If you're seeking representation, there's Lakeshore staff available for you to meet with. If you haven't made application for rental assistance and you don't want to speak to Lakeshore, finally, you'll be moved into a breakout room to meet with the attorney that represents your landlord. After you've had an opportunity to speak to the attorney that represents your landlord, you will be returned to this main session and we'll determine what the next steps are.
Perfect, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hall and Mr. Mubarak.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I'm going to get you moved into a meeting room. I'd ask that you return to this main session by 10:15 at the absolute latest, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Hitchcock,
Yes, hello, good morning.
I just wanted to let you know that a representative from Park Estates is in your meeting room, okay?
In my meeting room? Is that what I should join?
No, she's just letting you know that your client's there.
No, I understand. I said she was in the meeting room. Thank you.
Mr. Hall. Ms. Lindsay, were you done speaking with Lakeshore?
Yes, I just got off the phone with her.
No worries. You're free to go. I'll see you next Wednesday morning at 10:30.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
So in court staff, oh, here we shoot. Court
Judge, I
staff
already,
has finished checking everyone in. I'm sorry, Carly.
this is an attorney.
I saw him just come back in. Mr. Mubarak, did you finish speaking with Mr. Hall?
Yes, ma'am, I had, I'm just gonna send them proof of, funds that were deposited in my escrow, for the rent, and I'm gonna send that over to them in probably 3 minutes.
No. Were you looking for an adjournment of this matter this morning?
A stay, ma'am, yes, just until we can figure out the circuit court,
Okay, then, well, I have a whole docket of unrepresented persons. So for 2404616 LT Van Born Properties versus Aramco Fuel, your appearances.
Thank you, Cyril Hall. Good morning, Your Honor. Cyril Hall on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ali Mubarak on behalf of the defendant, P81729.
Thank you. Will a 1-week adjournment give you sufficient time to do what you need to do?
Your Honor, I'm gonna send brother counsel a no. Sorry.
Does 1 week give you enough time to do what you need to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hall?
I'm satisfied that I can receive the information within 1 week, but I would like to come back before the court and let you ultimately make the determination.
Okay. We'll adjourn the matter over. If you need more than 1 week, I can give you more than 1 week. I'm just asking the question so we can figure out what to do so I can release you so you don't have to sit through these other 20 cases.
Oh, I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Same here, Your Honor. 1 week is perfectly fine with me.
That's fine.
So 1 week or more time, I'm sorry.
1 week is fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
July 24th at 11 a.m.
Judge.
If there's nothing else, court staff will mail you that new date and time. You're free to go.
Judge, I'm sorry. Can we have 2 weeks? I'll be out of
No,
town.
I'm not back on landlord tenant, so we'll do it. We'll go a little bit further. August the 6th
That's fine.
at 10 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. Will be via Zoom again?
Unless you want to appear in person.
No, ma'am. Zoom is fine.
Thank you. If anything else comes up, reach out to the court civil department and they'll get you taken care of, whether rescheduled or settled, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day. My apologies for the delay. The rest of you who are here, there's a short video that is about to play. At the conclusion of that video, every case that is scheduled will be called. Thank you.
to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
Thank you, Carly. This is 2404596 LT Westlake versus Jessica Piggy.
Richard
Hi, I'm
Herman.
here.
Sorry, Richard Herman on behalf of the plaintiff, and I did not hear, Judge, which case this was.
Jessica Piggy, 2404596. Ma'am, I need you to state your name for me, please.
Jessica Paget.
Paget, my apologies. Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, but I would like to.
Okay, if you have not yet, then the state does not apply to you. If you make an application for rental assistance, there's a form that you need to file with the court called the DC 539. Ma'am, would you like the opportunity to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes, please.
Then we will get you moved into a breakout room. You'll have the opportunity to meet with them. After you speak to them, you'll be free to go. Your case is being adjourned over till next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m. Whether they represent you or not, you are required to return next Wednesday at 10:45. You'll see an invitation to go into a breakout room to maybe meet with Lakeshore.
Judge, is that by Zoom?
That's by Zoom unless you want to appear in person.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. 2404598 LT Westlake versus Isaac Graham. Mr. Graham, unmute yourself, turn your video on, state your name for me, please.
How you doing, Isaac Graham?
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Have you made application for rental assistance, sir?
No, I've actually already went ahead and paid the balance in full.
How much did you, may I ask a question, Judge?
Mr. Herman, let me move you all into a breakout room. Talk to Mr. Graham, and when you're done, you can come back to this main session.
Perfect.
Mr. Herman, you should be able to move yourself. I'll move Mr. Graham into your meeting room.
Are you giving me an invite or no?
You are a co-host, sir. You should be able to move yourself.
Really?
Oh.
That's overly optimistic, Judge.
Let me.
I've got
Here
it.
we
I've got
are.
it. I've got it.
Thanks. 2404600 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Pipkins.
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton of Palace Law on behalf of Rawsonville.
Ms. Pipkins?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my video cut on. It's not working. Oh, there it goes. Hi, I'm here. I'm sorry. Ariel Pipkins.
Thank you. This is a termination of tenancy case. Ma'am, were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No, I actually I found another place to go.
Then, Ms. Pipkins, I'm going to send
Can
you
you hear
into the
me?
breakout room. I'm able to hear you, ma'am, but I'm going to move you into a breakout room. You'll speak to someone at Palace Law Firm. When you're done speaking with them, come back into this main session and you can talk to me about you found someplace else, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. 2404601 Holiday West versus Langston Davis. Mr. Davis, unmute yourself, turn your video on, state your name for me, please.
Yes, my name is Langston Davis.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No.
Okay, then Mr. Davis, I'll move you into a breakout room. You'll speak to a representative from Palace Law Firm. When you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. 2404602 Holiday West versus Garrett
Gillows.
Gillows. Thank you. Mr. Gillows, would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, thank you.
And Mr. Gillows, I'll get you moved into the breakout room to meet with the Palace Law Firm. When you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Two 2404608. Oh. Nope, Mr. Herman is not here right now. When he comes back, we'll recall that case. 2404614 LT Park Estates versus Elizabeth Sevilla.
Good morning, Your Honor. Clifton Hitchcock, Swiss Stack Levine on behalf of the plaintiff Park Estates.
Elizabeth Sevilla.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, actually, I moved out May 18th and turned my keys in. And I just received this yesterday. So I don't understand why I'm getting it.
Then, Ms. Sevilla, what I will do is move you into a breakout room. You'll meet with Mr. Hitchcock from that represents Park Estates, okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And then you'll come back to this main session after that.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm also here on Maple Leaf South, just so you know. But
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
2404633 LT Holiday West versus Jalen Norris.
Jalen Norris here.
Mr. Norris, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am.
Would you like to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, ma'am.
Then, sir, the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into a breakout room. You'll meet with someone from the Palace Law Firm. After you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Two 2404636 LT Holiday West versus Rodriguez and Reagan.
I'm right here, ma'am.
All you are is a black square to me, so if you don't identify yourself, I don't know who you are.
Malia Rodriguez and Brendan Regan.
Thank you. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, we have not.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, thank you.
Then the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into the breakout room. You'll go there, you'll speak to someone from the Pallets Law Firm. After you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Why is Mr. Norris? Okay, that's better. 4604663 LT Harbor Club versus Yolanda Williams.
I'm here. Hello.
Ms. Williams, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am, I don't need it. I actually paid the rent already. I think what happened was I received the letter. Oh, I don't need to tell you that. Okay.
No. Because unless Mr. Morton is able to indicate this case should be dismissed, I'll need to move you into the breakout room so that they have a minute to confirm with their client that has been paid, including July's rent.
Yeah, that's what I need to tell them. I'm paying that tomorrow morning.
Okay, then ma'am, I'll move you into the breakout room. You'll speak with the attorneys, and when you come back, you'll tell me, we'll talk about what the status is, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 2404664 LT Harbor Club versus Lloyd Wilson. Oh, what happened to Mr. Wilson? Maybe not. 2404666 Holiday Woods versus Donovan Williams and Jada Williams.
Hello, Jada Williams.
Donovan Williams.
Have you made application for rental assistance?
No.
Oh, man.
Were you looking to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No, thank you.
Then the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into the breakout room. You'll meet with representatives from Palace Law Firm. When you're done speaking with them, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is 2404556 LT. Habib Hari versus Bradley Trijanowski.
Habib Harry.
Thank you. Sir, have you had contact with your tenant?
I tried to, but I haven't heard anything. They're not texting back or answering on the phone. Also went to the
Okay.
property.
Mr. Hari, the court has reviewed the file and saw that you have personal service and mail on the defendant. The case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's 10:32. They failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Sure, that's fine.
No, the answer to my question is how would you like to proceed? Do they still owe you money, Mr. Habib?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much rent do they owe you, sir?
It's 3,300. Then there is the water, 316.54, and the grass cut is 200. The total comes with the court cost is 3983.54.
And sir, court will enter the default judgment. You need to file the default judgment with the court. If you did not ask for water and grass in the complaint, it will not be included. But if it was listed in the complaint, the court will allow it, okay?
Sure, Your Honor.
Do you know how to get the default judgment filed?
Yes.
Then get it filed for me, please. As soon as I see it, if the numbers are correct and you requested it in your complaint, the court will enter it as a default. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, Mr. Graham and I are
Mr.
back whenever you're ready.
I know you're back. I can see you, sir, but you have some other people I just want to go through real
It's
quick. I'll
fine.
get right back to Mr. Graham. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you.
2404608 Southport versus Pride and Stanford.
Richard Herman, plaintiff.
Ms. Pride? Mr. Herman with Mr. Graham, 2404598LT. How are we proceeding?
What I'd like to do, Judge, is adjourn this for a control date so that I can check and see that everything was paid that he indicates was. And then I will, if so, I will dismiss it. And he's going to call me later today or tomorrow to confirm all of that.
Is that your understanding, Mr. Graham?
That is correct.
My control date is next Wednesday, July the 24th at 10:45 a.m.
Perfect.
And Mr. Graham, if it's been paid, Mr. Herman will submit a dismissal and you will not need to appear, but that's a conversation you'll have with Mr. Herman, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Graham?
No, that's it.
You're free to go, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4608 Pride and Stanford. Ma'am, state your name for me, please.
Lasonia Pride.
And Ms. Pride, do you know where Linda Stanford is?
Yes, that's my mother. She's at home.
I'm sorry.
She's unavailable, so it's just gonna be me.
Okay, she's failed to appear. Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I plan on paying the balance in full. I just need a little more time.
Were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No.
Then ma'am, I'll get you moved into a breakout room. You'll go in there, you'll speak to the attorney, Mr. Herman. After you're done speaking with him, come back into this main session, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, don't leave just yet. You also had 2404612 Southport versus Kiana Davis.
Davis.
Kiana Davis.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No.
Were you looking to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No.
Then Ms. Davis, same rules. You get moved into a breakout room. Mr. Herman will be there momentarily to speak to you. Ms. Pride and Ms. Davis should be in your waiting room. Mr. Herman, are you?
No worries.
Let
I'll
me
find
make
them.
sure. All right, yep, your co-host. You should be able to move them and yourself around. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Morton. 2404603 Holiday West versus Travis Huff. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's 10:36. Defendants failed to appear. Court has confirmed service. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered. This is a non-renewal termination notice. Was it based on default? We'd ask a possession be turned over within 10 business days. If not, a writ may be ordered.
File your judgment for me, please. Ooh. 2404629 Holiday West versus Terrence Brown Jr. This case is scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:37. Court's confirmed service. Defendants failed to appear.
Your Honor, based on Mr. Terrence Brown Jr.'s failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $3,442.60. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $3,632.84. Again, this is a non-payment rent for possession only.
Thank you. 24046 Holiday West versus Pierre Stewart. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:38. Defendants failed to appear. Court has confirmed service. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $1,173.48. Court cost of $190.24 for a total of $1,363.72. Again, this is a non-payment rent for possession only as it pertains to Mr. Pierre Stewart.
Thank you. This is a recall of 2404602 Holiday West versus Goulos?
Garrett Gillows, yes,
Gillows. Mr. Gillows, I'll get it right eventually.
that's okay.
You had the opportunity to speak to Palace Law Firm and you've reached an agreement with that office, sir?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, Mr. Gillows did have an opportunity to be able to speak with Miss, was it Fontanella from our office? Parties have agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. This is a termination, so this would be a move-out date by July 31st, 2024. If possession is not turned over at that point, they would have the right to move forward to seek an order of eviction. However, he's going to get the extended writ date to the 31st. Mr. Gillows was advised that this agreement is not final for 3 business days, that there is the 10-day right to appeal, as well as he did give permission specifically to assign his name to the proposed consent judgment agreement.
Mr. Gillows, is that an accurate statement of the agreement you reached with the office?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And sir, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, I do not.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No, I do not.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, I do not.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare a judgment that indicates a move-out date of July 31st. As long as the form he submits to the court says that, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else and you have no questions, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you, sir. This is a recall of 2404663 LT Harbor Club versus Yolanda Williams. Ms. Williams, you've had an opportunity to speak to the Palace Law Firm. You've reached an agreement.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here. I have.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Ms. Williams did have an opportunity to speak with Attorney Fontanella from our office. The parties have agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. The terms are as follows. Rents retained is $1,490.00. Court costs of $190.24. For a total of $1,680.24. The payment date will be July 29th, 2024. Ms. Williams was advised that this agreement is not final for 3 business days. She does have 10 days regarding her right to appeal, and she did specifically give permission to sign her name to the proposed consent judgment agreement, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams, was that an accurate statement of the agreement that you reached?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Williams, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Do you have any questions about these proceedings?
No.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, I don't.
Then Mr. Moore's office will prepare a consent judgment with the terms that were just placed on the record. They will file it with the court. As long as what they file matches what was just stated, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You all have a nice day as well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
2404641 LT Holiday West versus Jalen Griffin and Talia Edgar. The case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:42. Defendants have failed to appear. Court has confirmed service. Mr. Morton.
Your Honor, based on Ms. Jalen Griffin and Talia Edgar's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $2,440.48. Court costs of $248.83 for a total of $2,689.31. Again, this is a non-payment rent for possession only.
Thank you. 2404612. This is the matter with Ms. Davis. Ms. Davis, you've had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Herman. Sir, how are we proceeding?
Judge, we've agreed to a consent judgment. With your blessing, we'd ask that it be entered. Rent to retain is $1,551.06, with $181.04 in court costs. So the total redemptive amount through July is $1,732.10, and she will have until July 31 to pay that.
Ms. Davis, was that an accurate statement?
Yes.
Hey, ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you had available to you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Herman, were you trying to say something else?
I'm trying to get rid of this call that's coming in. Okay.
Okay.
I read her rights under the court rule, and I did get her permission to sign her name.
Thank you. And Ms. Davis, do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, ma'am.
Then Mr. Herman's office will prepare a consent judgment, file it with the court. As long as what he files matches what he just placed on the record, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Good luck to you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. You too.
Yep, Judge, you sent, or I was to get Ms. Pride into the breakout room as well, but I can't do it. I don't see where she's even still here.
It appears that she's gone. I saw her. She was in your waiting room.
Right. And there was no way for me to move her in because her name didn't appear.
I don't know what happened to her. Mr. Herman, if you don't mind hanging out with us for just a minute, the court has unlocked the meeting again. So if she logs back on, we'll get her connected with you.
Okay, no problem. I think I still have a couple more anyways.
You do, and I'll call your defaults when I'm done with Mr. Morton's consent judgments.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a recall
Your
of
Honor,
24046.
I do apologize. Miss Lloyd Wilson, was it, I believe, Miss Lloyd Wilson, were you speaking with, was it with someone from my office? Mr. Lloyd Wilson?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes, that was me. It did the same thing to me. It removed me from the group and my whole app shut down. I had to call to get them to open it back up.
Were you speaking with someone before you were removed, sir?
No, ma'am.
Give me one moment.
Understood, Your Honor.
2404664 Harbor Club versus Lloyd Wilson. Sir, have you made application for rental assistance?
I tried to when I spoke with my DHS worker. She said it didn't go through for some reason. I have to resubmit it. But I do plan on paying off the rest of my balance. I've been paying on it.
Okay, sir, were you looking to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid for legal assistance?
Yes.
Then, sir, what we'll do is get you moved into a breakout room. You'll meet with the member from that office. After you're done speaking with them, you will be free to go. Your case is being adjourned over to next Wednesday, July the 24th at 11 a.m. Whether they represent you or not, you are required to return on that date, okay?
And that date was what again?
Thank you. Next Wednesday, July the 24th at 11 a.m.
All right, will do. Thank you.
I'll get you moved into that room. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Thank you. We are back on 2444601 LT. Holiday West versus Langston Davis. Mr. Davis, you had the opportunity to speak to the Palace Law Firm. You've reached an agreement.
Yes.
Your Honor, this
No, no,
also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry about this one.
I was gonna say, Your Honor, this also deals with Miss Shakira Ellington, who's also present.
Hello.
Ms. Ellington is listed as an occupant. Yes, Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the parties did speak, and they've agreed. This is a non-renewal termination. The parties did agree to a move-out date, which is July 29th, 2024. Both parties were advised that whatever agreements entered into was not final for 3 business days. Second, they have 10 days to appeal. And then 3, they did get permission to sign their name to the proposed consent judgment agreement. And again, Your Honor, this is a non-renewal case, and a consent judgment with a 7/29 move-out date was agreed to.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, was that an accurate statement of the agreement?
Yes.
Ms. Ellington?
Yes.
And you were both present when the video played that explained the rights you have available. Do you have any questions about those rights, Mr. Davis?
No, I do not.
Ms. Ellington?
No.
Do you have any questions about these proceedings, Mr. Davis?
No, I do not.
Ms. Ellington?
No, ma'am.
Any questions about the consent judgment, Mr. Davis?
No, I do not.
Ms. Ellington.
No.
Then the Palace Law Firm will prepare a consent judgment with the terms he just placed on the record. So long as that move-out date matches what he just stated, the court will sign it. And a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on the record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. 2404597 Westlake versus Lauren Washington and Calvin Washington. Mr. Herman, the court shows court mail but does not show service by your office. The defendants have not appeared this morning.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before you go through that, I would move to dismiss that case.
Thank you. Two four zero four 605 Southport versus Cameron Simmons. Mr. Herman, defendants failed to appear.
Judge, based on defendant's failure to appear, I'd ask for default judgment. Rent to retain is $2,279.19 with $181.04 in costs. So the total redemptive amount through July is $2,460.23. Writ to issue if it's not paid on or before 7/29.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, when you submit your default judgment, please also include proofs of service by the plaintiff.
Okay.
And sir, it does not appear that Ms. Pride has returned. This is 2404608 LT Southport versus Pride and Stanford.
Judge, I'm not sure how you want to proceed. I mean, ordinarily I took a default judgment. So I guess I'd ask the court for a default judgment.
Rent to retain?
Rent to retain is $2,229.80 with $230.43 in court costs, amounting to $2,460.23. Judge, I'm wondering if it isn't just better to adjourn it. I'm back on the 24th in any event. I have a feeling we'll just be back here on a motion and then just make life way too complicated for you and me and my client.
We weren't going to be back on a motion. What I was going to say to you was that what we'll do is mark that she was here and then was not here when the case was called. And if between now and the end of the docket, she either reappears or has contacted the civil department indicating a problem, I would have just reset it to next Wednesday anyway, but I appreciate your courtesy. We'll adjourn this case over till next Wednesday, the 24th at 11 a.m. If she logs back on, either myself or court staff will advise her of that new date, okay?
Sure, 11 a.m. by Zoom. Okay, Judge, I appreciate that.
Yes.
And I think that be it.
That's it. Have a good day, sir.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morton. 4633. This is a recall of Holiday West versus Jalen Norris. Mr. Norris, you've had the opportunity to speak to the Palace Law Firm. You reached an agreement, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the parties did have an opportunity to speak. Consent judgment has been entered by the parties. Rents retained is $757.32. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $947.56. The payment date will be July 29th, 2024. Mr. Norris was advised that this agreement is not final for 3 business days. Second, the fact that he does have 10 days from today's date regarding his right to appeal. And then finally, I did give permission to sign his name to the proposed consent judgment agreement.
Mr. Norris, was that an accurate statement of your agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you were present when the court played the video that explained the rights you had available. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, ma'am.
Then Mr. Moore's office will prepare a consent judgment file with the court. As long as what he files matches what he just stated on the record, the court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, Mr. Norris, you're free to go. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, I thought that Lloyd Wilson, 2404664LT Harbor Club versus Lloyd Wilson. Sir, you have the opportunity to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid.
I have not spoken with anyone yet.
Okay, sir, I'm not sure how you got back into this session. There's Lakeshore Legal Aid is here. I will make an effort to get you back with him again, okay?
Okay.
Two four zero four six six six. This is a recall of Holiday Woods versus Williams and Williams. You've had the opportunity to speak to the Palace Law Firm. You've reached an agreement.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Was it, the parties did have an opportunity to be able to speak. A proposed consent judgment, has been entered into. Rents retained is $3,921.78. Core cost of $248.83, for a total of $4,170.61. Payment date will be July 31st, 2024. They were advised that this agreement would not be final for 3 business days, 10 days regarding their right to appeal, and did get permission to sign their name to the proposed consent judgment agreement.
Was that an accurate statement of your agreement, Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available. Do you have any questions about those rights, Mr. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings, Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment, Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare a consent judgment with the terms that were just placed on the record. So long as what is filed with the court matches what was placed on the record, the court will sign it, and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. 2404662LT Harbor Club versus Morgan Wedra and Luke Anderson. Today was the day and time scheduled for the first hearing. It was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:56 by this court's clock. Court has confirmed service. Defendants have failed to appear. Mr. Morton.
Your Honor, one moment. I do apologize. What was the last name on this one again, Your Honor?
Wedra and Anderson. Luke Anderson.
And I do apologize. I'm sorry. Who was my client in this one? This one's for some reason it's evading
It's
me.
Harbor Club. Harbor Club.
Oh, was it? Okay, yes, I see this right here. Your Honor, based on the defendant's failed to appear, we're asking a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained is $1,593.65. Court cost of $248.83, for a total of $1,842.48. This is a non-payment of rent for possession only.
Thank you. Two four zero four six three six Holiday West versus Rodriguez and Regan. Mr. Hitchcock, you've reached an agreement with these parties?
Your Honor, was it actually Rodriguez and Regan is mine?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No
Mr.
problem.
Morton.
Your Honor, was it, my office did have an opportunity to be able to speak with them. Was it the consent judgment has been entered into. Rents retained is $2,359.82. Court cost of $248.83, for a total of $2,608.65. Was it the payment date of July 31st, 2024? Was it both parties were advised that this agreement would not be final for 3 business days. They do have 10 days from today's date regarding their right to appeal, as well as giving permission to sign their name to the proposed consent judgment.
Thank you. Was that an accurate statement of the agreement that you reached with the office
Yes, ma'am.
and to your co-tenant?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were present when the video played that explained the legal rights you have available to you this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Then the law firm will prepare a consent judgment filed with the court. As long as what they file matches what was just placed on the record, the court will sign it, and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a good day.
You too. Thank
Have
you,
a blessed
ma'am.
day.
Thank you. 2404642 Holiday West versus Jasmine Harris. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:58. Defendants failed to appear. Court has confirmed service. Mr. Morton.
Your Honor, based on Ms. Harris's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession to be entered. Rents retained is $991.25. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $1,181.49. This is a non-payment of rent for possession only, Your Honor.
Thank you. Two 2404617 Maple Leaf versus Dennis Lewis. Its case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:59. Defendants failed to appear. Court has confirmed service. Mr. Hitchcock.
Your Honor, good morning. Clifton Hitchcock, Swiss Deck Living on behalf of the plaintiff Maple Leaf Gardens South MHC LLC. Plaintiff respectfully requests entry of a default judgment for possession only. Is rent to retain possession in the amount of $1,404.53, cost in the amount of $187.68, for a total redemptive amount of $1,592.21, which the defendant must pay in full or move out on or before July 29th, 2024, or the writ may issue thereafter.
Thank you. Were you done with Ms. Sevilla?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's get her back out into this main session.
So I should submit this judgment, proposed judgment for Lewis, or?
Two 2404614 LT Park Estates versus Elizabeth Sevilla. The parties have had the opportunity to speak. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the parties have had a chance to speak and had some probative discussions, but haven't had a chance, haven't resolved the matter. So we would ask for the next available date for hearing, and the parties intend to continue to talk during that time frame and perhaps resolve it short of the next hearing, but ask for the next earliest available hearing date.
Ms. Sevilla, was that your understanding?
Yes.
Case is being adjourned over to next Wednesday, July the 24th at 11 a.m. Do you have any
Okay.
questions this morning, Ms. Sevilla?
No.
Then ma'am, you're free to go. I'll see you next Wednesday morning. Have a good day.
Same
You too, thank
Zoom?
you.
Same Zoom, Your Honor?
Same Zoom unless you want to
Yep.
appear in person.
Well, in your court, I'd love to, but next Wednesday, I'll appear by Zoom. I could do
Thank
this.
you. Was there anything else, Mr. Hitchcock?
No, I'll submit the judgment on Lewis this morning.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Mr. Morton, did we make it through your 10 o'clocks?
Your Honor, there's one matter remaining, and Ms. Kuzi's can put that one on the record. That's for Mr. Ariel, it's for Ariel Pipkins, which is 24-
4600. Thank you. 2404600 Rawsonville Woods versus Pipkins. How are we proceeding, Ms. Kuzi?
Yes, Your Honor, the parties did agree to a consent judgment. Defendant, under the further order sections, it will indicate that defendant shall pay June and July charges on or before July 29, 2024, and vacate the premises on or before August 5th, 2024. If defendant defaults on any of the terms, plaintiff may seek an order of eviction, and acceptance of rent by plaintiff shall not nullify the termination of tenancy action, and Park Forest defense is waived. And I did advise her of her rights under MCR 4.201, and she did give me permission to sign her name to the judgment.
Ms. Pipkins, was that an accurate statement of your agreement?
Yes, it was.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you had available this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, thank you.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Ms. Kuzi's office will prepare a consent judgment file with the court as long as what she files matches what was just stated on the record. The court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, that should close out the matters that we have for today.
Thank you. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
To the attorneys who are here for the 11 o'clock block, you're being made co-host. At about 11:15, the court will lock this main session. There'll be the video playing that explains the rights that the tenants have available. After that video is played, all the cases will be called. The court will confirm that there have been no requests made for rental assistance. There's Lakeshore Legal Aid available. If any of the tenants wish to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid, the court will get them moved into those breakout rooms. And afterwards, they'll get moved into your breakout rooms. So please be patient. Again, court staff is working to get tenants labeled. We'll get going here at about 11:15. Thank you. Mr. Wilson,
Yes, Your Honor.
did you speak to Lakeshore?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then sir, you're free to go. I'll see you next Wednesday, right?
Yes, at what time?
At 11 a.m., sir. Same
11
Zoom
a.m.
ID.
Okay, and all right, that's the same. Now, she said that I was going to be able to possibly speak to their attorney.
Hold on one second. Their attorneys have left. Their cases were scheduled at 9 and 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
They have not agreed to represent you?
Well, I talked to them when I had a court case before with this, and we had it resolved. I was just hoping to talk with them as well this time and get it resolved, but that's fine.
Mr. Wilson, the reason I'm asking is if Lakeshore is going to represent you, you cannot talk to Palace, but if Lakeshore is not representing you, I would encourage you to reach out to the law firm before we're back here next Wednesday.
Okay, definitely will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. McDermott,
I'm right here.
what did you need?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know. Couldn't even tell where I was at on the screen. Like my screen was glitching, so I didn't know if I was still in it or not.
You are where you're supposed to be. I saw a request for help. If you don't need anything, if you would sit tight. In about 4 minutes, there will be a video played that explains the rights that everyone has available to them this morning. After that video plays, every case will be called. When your case is called, be prepared to unmute yourself, to turn your video on and to state your name for the record. After you state your name, I will ask if you've made an application for rental assistance. If you have, there is a form that you will need to file. There's court staff here that are able to help you locate that form and get it submitted. I will also ask if you'd like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. To the tenants that are seeking legal assistance, there are representatives here who can speak with you this morning. If you do not want to speak to Lakeshore and you have not made a request for rental assistance, you will be moved into a room to speak with the attorney who represents your landlord. After you're done speaking with the attorney, you will come back to this main session. Do not leave unless I have said to you, you are free to go, you have a good day, or I have given you a new court date. Court staff is just continuing to check people in and get them renamed. Attorneys, you have all been made co-hosts. At the end of the Advice of Rights videos, you will be able to move into your respective waiting rooms and meeting rooms, and will be able to move your tenants as well. Carly, I'm showing 11:14 by my clock. If you would like to, please start playing the video. I will lock this session.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th district, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property or any part of it is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2404670 LT. This Arfa Enterprise versus Latrice Yarborough, Amaya Yarborough, and Shahid Dennis.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ron Ruark for the plaintiff.
Tenants, please unmute yourself, turn your video on, and state your name for me.
Latrice Yarborough.
Shahid Dennis.
Amaya Yarborough.
Thank you. Have you made application for rental assistance?
I did, and I didn't get a chance to upload the paperwork, and my worker told me to redo the application over.
If you've made application for rental assistance, again, you need to file the form that's called a DC 539. If you need assistance in locating that form, there's court staff available to you to help you locate that form. When you submit it to the court, you will need to attach proof that you have actually made application for rental assistance. Were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
You will be moved into that room. Your case will be adjourned over till next Wednesday, July the 24th at 11 a.m. Whether or not Lakeshore represents you, you are required to reappear. You are required to file that form, the DC 539. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rourke, was there anything you wanted to say, sir?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Two 40466 LT Bill Properties versus Ryan Towler and Carly Haggerty.
Good morning,
Ryan
Your Honor.
Towler.
Clifton Hitchcock, Swiss Stack Levine on behalf of Beal Properties.
Thank you. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, we have not.
Were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
I think we would like to possibly talk to their lawyer, try to resolve it.
To whose lawyer?
to Bill's lawyer?
That was my next question. I'll get you moved into a breakout room. You'll meet with
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hitchcock. When you're done speaking with him, you will come back into this main session. Give me one moment. We'll get you moved into that room.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your
You're
Honor.
welcome. Two, 4-04599 LT Maxwell versus Andrew Johnson.
Good morning, Judge Joe Joseph on behalf of the plaintiff.
State your name for me, sir.
Oh, yeah, my name is Andrew Johnson. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, Mr. Johnson. Sir, have you made application for rental assistance?
I actually have multiple times, but they keep denying it, saying I actually need a court-ordered eviction, not a court date, not a set amount. They say they won't approve it unless I have a court-ordered eviction.
Thank you. Sir, were you
I'm-
looking to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
I'm the last thing I want is another month to build up. You know what I'm saying? So I've been following up with them, but they're just kind of starting on that topic. So whatever gets me closest to that, will help. I can talk to Lakeshore Legal
Mr.
Aid.
Johnson, no, you're fine. I understand. I will get you moved into a breakout room. Mr. Joseph has one other case, but he'll be in there in just a moment to talk to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Give me 1 second. You're here for Mr. Callahan as well for 2-4-0-4-6-6-9 LT, Michigan Rental versus Willie Guyton and April Guyton.
Good morning, Judge Joe Joseph for plaintiff.
It's 11:21 by this court's clock. Mr. Joseph, the court showed court mail but did not see service by the plaintiff's office. The defendants have failed to appear this morning. How did you want to proceed?
Judge, we do move the court for entry of a default judgment for possession. I'm just looking here. I know are you saying you don't have the proof of service or you just don't show personal service on it?
There was no service by plaintiff's office. I didn't see any when I looked. Today is Wednesday. I would have looked yesterday morning.
Okay,
So
it was.
what I would say is,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Judge.
I was gonna say, if you're asking for a default, I would just say when you submit the default, have them confirm that the proofs of service, whether it was mail, personal service, or posting by the plaintiff, just confirm that was filed in on base.
Okay, yep, that's not a problem, Judge. Judge, you want me to place the amounts on the record for the default?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Judge, rent retained $4,734. $279.07 rent retained, total $5,013.07.
Thank you. I will wait that default judgment and you go speak to Mr. Johnson. I'll see you back here in just a moment.
Will do.
Thank you. 2-4-0-4-6-7-2 LT Belleville Manor versus Amaya Young. Ma'am, unmute yourself, turn your video, I'll state your name for me, please. Ms. Young, have you made application for rental assistance?
No.
Were you looking to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No.
Then ma'am, I'll get you moved into the breakout room to meet with the attorney that represents Belleville Manor. When you're done speaking with them, come back to this main room, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. 2-4-0-4-6-7-5 Belleville Point versus Jonathan Ford and Lexus Harrison.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
State your names for me, please.
Alexis Harrison.
Jonathan Ford.
Thank you. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, not yet.
Were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
Yes, please.
We'll get you moved into a breakout room with them. After you're done speaking with them, you'll be free to go. Your case is being adjourned over till next Wednesday, July the 24th at 11 a.m. Whether Lakeshore agrees to represent you or not, you are required to return next Wednesday at 11 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
The next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into a breakout room to meet with a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. 2404676 LT. This is Belleville Point versus Janice Randall. Ms. Austin, Ms. Randall has not appeared this morning. The court shows court mail, but no service by the plaintiff's office.
Let's see. Looking to see, Your Honor, what I have as well. So proof of service isn't in your file, because it's not in mine either. Your Honor, can you pass me for just a minute and let me see if I have a proof of service here that I can send to the court?
Absolutely. It
Thank
was
you, Your Honor.
posted. Thanks, Dan. That answers the question. The court staff is fantastic. He's showing posting. I saw court mail.
Ah. So you have both?
It sounds like it. Thanks, Dan. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, request possession only, default judgment.
Rent to retain.
$3,025.77. Cost of $170.04. For a total of $3,195.81.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2404677 MSR Holding versus Raymond Jackson.
Good morning, Judge. Attorney Paul Spaniolo, P72366, standing in for the attorney of record, Afan Backpacker, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Take that hat off, please, and state your name for me, sir.
Oh, they doing Raymond Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Have you made application for rental assistance, sir?
Yes.
Have you filed the form that's called the DC 539 with the court?
I sent it to that email, the civils at 34. The clerk said that I can do.
And sir, if you have filed that with the court, then the court is required to adjourn this matter over. Your adjourn date will be next Wednesday, the 24th at 11:15 a.m. Before you leave, Mr. Jackson, were you looking to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No, ma'am.
I will see you next Wednesday at 11:15 a.m.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. You and your staff have a great day.
Please be prepared to provide an update regarding your application for assistance, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spanio. Two four zero four six seven four Belleville Point versus Calvin Jackson and China Furman. This case was scheduled at 11 o'clock, is now 11:28 by the court's clock. The court has confirmed service. The defendants have failed to appear. Ms. Austin, how would you like to proceed?
A possession only default judgment, Your Honor. Rent to retain is $2,338.36. Court cost of $188.93 for a total of $2,527.29.
Thank you. Please submit that default judgment for entry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Dan, you are fantastic and fast. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Judge. We try.
Mr. Towler and Ms. Haggerty, did you reach an agreement with Mr. Hitchcock?
Yes, we did. My wife just let the dog outside, so she stepped out real
That's
quick.
okay. Listen,
But yes, we did.
when he comes back in, I'll recall the case and he'll
Okay.
put the terms of the agreement on the record, 4678.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are we all set, or I still gotta wait?
No.
Oh, all set. Okay.
You're gonna stay here. When he comes
Okay.
back out, he'll tell me the agreement and I'll confirm with you that it's accurate. Ms. McDermott, 2404671, Belleville Manor versus McDermott and Mann.
Hi. I don't know if my
Good
roommate's
morning.
on. Good morning. I have no clue my roommate's on here because she's unfortunately not home right now.
I don't see anyone on, and there's no one responding. Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
I don't believe so, no.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid? Were you looking for legal representation?
No.
Then ma'am, I'll send you an invitation to go into a breakout room. You'll go speak to the attorney who represents Belleville Manor. After you're done speaking with him, you'll come back into this main session, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Give me one moment. Let me get the invitation out to you. There we are. Back on the record in 2404599 LT. Mr. Johnson, you had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Joseph.
Yes, I did.
Mr. Joseph, how are we proceeding?
Judge, we've worked out a consent judgment for possession only, and I'm happy to place the terms on the record if the court is ready.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. It's rent to retain of $6,015 plus court costs of $170, totaling $61.85 with a writ date of August 5th. The defendant has been given his rights under 4.201 regarding the 3-day rescission rule. He's also authorized me to sign his name to this agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, was that an accurate statement of your agreement?
Yes, it was.
And sir, you were on the Zoom when the video played that explained the rights you had available this morning. Do you have any questions about those rights?
Not at all. No, I don't got any questions.
Do you have any questions about these proceedings?
Nope, I don't. Not at the moment.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Joseph will make sure that the consent judgment with the terms he just placed on the record gets filed with the court. That happens electronically. As long as what I receive matches what was just placed on the record, I'll sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Sir, good luck in getting your request for assistance resubmitted, okay?
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Judge.
No
That's it for
worries,
me.
sir.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Mr. Johnson, you're free to go. You have a great day, sir.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Mr. Hitchcock, this is 2404668. Bill Properties versus Toller and Haggerty. You've reached an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the parties have agreed to the terms of a consent judgment, Your Honor, for possession only. There's rent to retain possession in the amount of $1,984, costs of $243.71 for a total amount of $2,227.71, which the defendants must pay in full or move out to honor before July 29th, 2024. The writ may issue thereafter have advised the defendants on their rights under MCR 4.201J, a 3-day right of rescission as they're unrepresented by counsel. Should there be anything they don't understand fully about this judgment they're entering into today and have authorized me to sign on their behalf and submit to the court, or have other good reason, they may approach the court to set aside this motion within 3 business or court days from entry of the judgment. For example, if the judgment was entered today, they would have to do so by the end of the day, court day on Monday.
Sir, was that an accurate statement of the agreement that you reached?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. And you were both present when the video played that explained the rights you had available this morning. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Do you have any questions about these proceedings?
Not currently, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, ma'am.
No. Then Mr. Hitchcock's office will prepare a consent judgment with those terms. He will file it electronically with the court. As long as what he files matches what he just placed on the record, I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, ma'am. You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clifton.
Thank you.
Mr. Hitchcock, are you going back in with?
Well, I
There
have
are people
Belleville
in your
Manor.
waiting room.
I can go back
Sorry.
in. I didn't see anybody else, but maybe they're waiting now.
Oh, they're in your waiting room.
Okay.
McDermott and Young.
Okay. Thank you.
Carly and Dan, thank you so much for your help today.
You're welcome. That was really all Carly on the moving people in and out.
There's something magical when that happens.
I owe her lunch
don't-
next week.
I don't think you're told enough, Judge. But I enjoy being in your courtroom. It always goes smooth.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's because you all, I say out loud, I don't see a thing. Dan says, nope, it's there. I come out, I see the waiting room full. You're pulling people in, you're getting them relabeled, you're holding them in that pen. I appreciate it. We're almost done. I think I can handle these last two if you have something else to do, and I'll get my notes put in. And thank you.
Have a good day, Judge.
You too. Okay, let's go to. Ashley Mann.
Yep.
Miss Mann, you're a little late.
Yep, I was just having a little bit of trouble with the Zoom.
Your roommate is here. Hold on one second. She is waiting to meet with the attorney's office. You give me 1 second, let me get you relabeled and I will get you into that same room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Probably do that.
Two four zero four six seven two. This is a recall of Belleville Manor versus Young. The parties have had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Hitchcock, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the parties have agreed to the terms of a consent judgment for possession only. There's rent to retain possession in the amount of $1,946.42, costs in the amount of $187.04 for a total redemptive amount of $2,133.46, which the defendant, Ms. Young, agrees to pay in full or move out on or before July 29th, 2024, or the writ may issue thereafter. I've explained MCR 4.201J to Ms. Young and her 3-day right of rescission. If there's any, as she's unrepresented by counsel, if there's anything she didn't understand fully, and entering into this consent judgment today, which she's authorized me to sign and submit to the court, or has other good reason to set it aside, she can move to the court within 3 business or court days from the entry of the judgment by Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Young, was that an accurate statement of your agreement?
Yes, sir.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available this morning. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Hitchcock's office will prepare a consent judgment file electronically with the court. As long as what he files matches what he just placed on the record, I will sign it and a copy of it will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else and you have no questions, ma'am, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I have to try to return back to the meeting room. I'm not seeing the
No,
prompt.
you need help? I can get you
Yes,
there.
well, now it came up. No, I should be good now.
Okay,
Thanks. It
Thank
didn't
you.
come up for a minute. Thank you.
Yeah. Am I free to go, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
Not quite yet. No, give me one moment.
Okay.
You spoke to Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are free to go. I'll see you next Wednesday, July 24th at 11 a.m., okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I moved you out of the breakouts. There's only one case left. They've already waived their right to have consultation with your office, unless there's something else you needed.
I think we're good. Jessica?
I believe that's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Were you expecting them back out, Mr. Hitchcock?
Yes, momentarily. Yeah. I beat them out this time.
I can force them out. I didn't know if they were waiting to speak to someone
Yeah.
else.
No, they're not. They said leave the meeting room, but not the breakout room, but not the meeting. Yeah, you can force them out if you like. They're not talking to anybody. Maybe they said something to.
This is a recall of 2404671 Belleville Manor versus McDermott and Mann. Your names for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Clifton Hitchcock, Swiss Stack Levine, on behalf of the plaintiff BC Belleville Manor Property LLC. Ms.
Your name,
Mann?
ma'am?
Yep,
No, state your name.
Ashley Mann.
Thank you.
Ms. McDermott?
Mr. Hitchcock, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, the parties, my client, Ms. McDermott and Ms. Mann have agreed to the terms of a consent judgment for possession only. There's rent to retain possession in the amount of $4,713.92, costs in the amount of $243.71 for a total redemptive amount of $4,957.63, which the defendants must pay in full or move out on or before July 29th, 2024, or the writ may issue thereafter. I've explained in detail their rights under MCR 4.201J, including 3-day right of rescission, to move to the court to set aside the consent judgment they've authorized me to sign with their permission and submit to the court today. If there should be anything they didn't fully understand in entering this judgment today, or have other good reason to move to set it aside.
Ms. McDermott, was that an accurate statement of your agreement?
Yes.
Ms. Mann?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings, Ms. Mann?
So just to be clear, so we have until the 29th to either pay or be fully moved out.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any questions about these proceedings, Ms. McDermott?
No, it was the same for me. Same question.
Any questions about the consent judgment, Ms. Mann? The actual document?
Nope.
Ms. McDermott?
No, ma'am.
Then Mr. Hitchcock's office will prepare a consent judgment and file it electronically with the court. As long as what he submits matches what he just placed on the record, I will sign it. And a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else and you have no other questions, you're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You too, Mr. Hitchcock.